Yep, somebody wants us to do the cards. Yeah, somebody wants us to do our cards. And you know what's funny about it all is yesterday the other kitty came and I put it on the thumbnail. That's Silver Bullet. Yep, Silver Bullet. And so you can look at, that was the one that was a little tiny baby, and I thought it was a mouse. It ran so fast. So when it started coming over to eat, I named her Silver Bullet. Okay, another thing that might be significant is one by one. If you ever heard of that starfish poem, where the little boy's throwing the starfish in the ocean, and a guy says, "You'll never be able to save them all." And he's like, "Well, one by one I can." And that's how I feel about my stray animals. One animal comes and eats, one fly comes to drink out of the water bowl. Oh, I just love animals. Animals and music, that's my forte. So we've got a couple things. We've got Scorpions' greatest hits playing in the background, and we have the Cactus League. If anybody knows what the Cactus League is, it is Spring Training Cactus League, and it's from Surprise, Arizona. And I got the t-shirt. That might be significant for somebody. I believe with the T there, I'm thinking about Thunderbirds, airplanes, spaceships. Okay, so there's a few things that I wanted to tell you about. We're going to go ahead and get right into St. Michael this morning. St. Michael says he wants to talk to you. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle these cards. I just saw God is in charge, but St. Michael is a messenger. So we're going to go ahead and see what St. Michael wants to say. Ha! God is in charge. Now, isn't that wild, right? I seen God is in charge. I shuffled, I talked about it, and look at that. Overall energy, God is in charge. That is so cool. Okay, we've got use your imagination and you'll see the answer. Now that's underneath God is in charge. So basically what God would like you to know is that your imagination can show you the answers. Just like I said about one by one. How many of you take food and throw it in the garbage? Well, I don't. All the food that I have, whatever it is, I will put outside for an animal. Whether I take it in my truck and put it in a bush at the grocery store, whether I put it on my porch in a bowl, I actually buy a loaf of bread every time I'm at the store because, or two, because I feed birds everywhere too. So when I get out of my truck, I'm feeding the birds everywhere. So just an FYI there, because one by one, we can make a difference. And a lot of you, I think, throw away a lot of food. Well, anyways, so use your imagination and you'll see the answer. Now, I'm talking about feeding animals, of course, but there's a lot of things that we can do to help people and animals, okay? So use your imagination. Then he says, eternal love. Now, there's a song from Scorpions called No One Like You, and there's a song by Scorpions called Still Loving You, and another one called I Can't Explain. So there's three songs that are really great. The one in the background now is Sunday Morning, and it is Sunday morning. Okay, so you and your loved ones are safe. If you're wondering if you should take that risk and quit the job, move, whatever you're thinking on doing by using that imagination, well, guess what? God's got this. St. Michael's got this, you know. Some of you are still just living in a box. Living in a box. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and continue on with divine guidance. On the bottom is loyal, brave, and true. Now we'll shuffle again and see if that one comes back. Loyal, brave, and true. And here jumps up Willie. Hi, Willie. What you doing? What do we got here? Spiritual warrior. That's a lot like loyal, brave, and true. Spiritual warrior, righteousness, an ancient formable power. I always love that picture. Okay, so you're a spiritual warrior. And karma's in reverse. So what it's telling me is that, and I've said this before, that most of you have really cleaned up your karma. Okay? In reverse. So it says God's judgment, return to sender, lasting pain and suffering. Okay? You've given it to God. You've said, okay, I know God's in charge. Still loving you is playing in the background. So what I mean by that is you can still love these people even though they did you harm. And I'm not so much into returning to sender anymore. I like to send it to God, and I like to send it to the higher ups. It's kind of like if you're working someplace and you have a really rude customer come in, and instead of you dealing with it, you just kind of like say, could I have a manager, please? Could I have a supervisor, please? And then they come over and they handle the customer for you. That's the kind of energy that's going on right now. You know, one by one, you can send out love. You don't have to send out debating, even if you're right. Clean up your karmic scales, okay, and assignments. And I believe that that's done because that was in reverse. Okay, we have download, visions, and dreams. You're getting lots of downloads right now. You're getting lots of visions and you're getting lots of dreams. And that's going right back to use your imagination and you'll see the answer. Now, I've been doing a lot of talking about the projects and what you want to do in the future. If you had all the money that you needed, what would your project be? Well, obviously, mine would be animals and music. Okay, you could probably tell that by all my talks. Okay, but there's still more detail. Where are you going to live? Where are you going to do it? What city? What state? And a lot of that we can't see because eternal love, mission partners, just everything, right? It's all involved. So you kind of can only go to a certain point with your project, but the further you can get with writing down your project or having it in your head, that again, going back to use your imagination and you'll see the answer. Because you're getting lots of downloads, you're getting lots of visions and a lot of dreams. Now, I know some of you, back to this flying shirt, Cactus League in Surprise, Arizona. Shout out to anyone that's in Arizona or Surprise, Arizona, right? But a lot of you might want to be taking up aviation, and it's really cool in astro, but to do it in 4D would probably be really cool because they're going to have hoverboards and uh, flying machines and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, aviation is a great future. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we've got. Somebody is around you. I don't feel this is your energy, but it could be. Is scorned. They have a bitter outlook. They have a hardened heart, and they do want revenge against you. So once again, we just need to be loving from a distance. You know, I can love everybody on the planet, but not have to like them, if that makes sense. Okay? So you want to stay away from being jaded and be aware that there are people around you that don't want you to succeed. Just like Christ, right? There you go. Just like Christ. How many people didn't like him? Well, by the looks of how he looks there, I think he had a few people that didn't like him. So the Christ consciousness, the spiritual baptism, the dedication, and the offering to God really helps the situation. I remember going back to the story of Jesus on the cross, and when he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I remember being burnt on a cross, and I was not saying that. I was saying, I'm going to come back and fuck you all up. Okay. And I did. So I didn't really follow Christ's teachings there, but today I get it. And today I wouldn't come back and fuck them all up. But yeah, you know, I went through my stages. I wasn't always as saintly as I am today. Okay, so sacrifice. Now that doesn't mean I was evil. It just means that I was very angry and I didn't know how to channel my anger in the correct ways like Christ did. But it takes time. So some of you out there are still angry, still revengeful, you know, back to this jaded card. Some of you are still feeling this way. That's how I was, okay? So I get it. I definitely get it. I did it through the AA program since 1995. Every year I got a little better and a little better, right? But so that's how soon it's been since I have not had the jaded spirit, right? Because all the way up to 1995, all my prior lives plus this one, half of this one, I was a person that was tooth for tooth, eye for eye, right? And the sacrifice from Jesus was a long time ago. So it took quite a while for me to get his way of doing things. So Akashic records, and you know, there's proof is in the pudding. And when I talk about Akashic records, I'm drawn to that light on the book, and that's like the light in the background here. Everything is lit up, meaning there's not one thing that you do, not one thing that you can say that's not recorded. So if you think you're getting away with anything, you're not. Okay, and then we've got magician. We've got manifestation, powerful force of will. It says misdirection, deception, and convincing illusions. Now, what I'm drawn to on this card is the convincing illusions is one. Yesterday, I talked about using your magic power from Triumph, and I hope you checked that song out. It's on my playlist, and I'll put a few scorpions on there too today. But magician, when it says convincing illusions, how many of you have been in a situation where you were totally convinced that the person was good or the business was good, confirmation, or something was really good and it turned out to be a scam or it turned out to be a lie, right? That's what we're getting warned about. Be really careful on convincing illusions, okay? Yesterday we had the moon card upside down. So what that's telling me is that the tricksters are being shown for who they are. Just like when Ricky the raccoon came and he stood like a toddler and he ate the food and he washed his hands in the water, right? Okay. He was showing me his true colors. He wasn't being a scavenger. He wasn't being messy. He was being so polite and so nice. And he was just showing me his true self. And that's what we want in life. We want an eternal love. We want a mission partner, a business partner. I hear you all, you know, and it's like, but you've been hurt so many times, you're like kind of weary, right? Well, we've got to use our magic power. We've got to use God is in charge. We've got to use our imagination. We'll see the answer. And we really do have to trust, but not trust in people, places, and things. Trust in us. I know for me, if I'm doing something and I'm saying yes till God makes it no, if I'm doing something and God doesn't want me to do it, He makes it no. And I have that much trust in my mission that I can just keep moving forward. And if He doesn't want me to do it, it'll be a no. It will. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and just pick a couple more cards here from the Nordic deck. And we'll see what kind of warning, besides what I just told everybody, or what kind of message do you want us to hear? Okay, on the bottom of the deck, we have peace. So that's another good sign of if it doesn't bring you peace, it's probably not the right choice. Okay, if you're going into something and you don't feel right, and let's say, let's just use an example. You're going to a new function, whatever it is, okay, and you don't feel right there. You feel out of place, you got butterflies in your belly, or you're listening to a YouTube channel and you don't feel right, you just, something just irks you about it. I just stop. You know how many times I change my YouTube subscriptions? Very often. You know, I might have just needed to listen to that one sentence or that one person that one time. You know, I don't have to sit here and have an all day, I got to listen to him, her. Try to go more by the Spirit. Try to go more by the Spirit. Okay? If it doesn't bring you peace, move on. And that's a picture of my tattoo. I don't know if I've told anybody that yet, but I have a tattoo and it looks like that. Have it right down here under my butt. Okay, it's going to bring you success. Why did I tell you about my tattoo? I don't know. Maybe somebody wants to get a tattoo. I'd like to get another one. I also always wanted to get that tattoo of the eyeliner to make my eyes more Egyptian, but I just don't trust nothing here. I do that stuff in astro. Okay, so success, it's going to bring you success. That's what we're looking for. Now, what I'm drawn to is the hot air balloons. Remember, I was just talking about aviation. So maybe somebody wants to learn how to do the hot air balloons for now, because we don't have the hover cars. Maybe somebody wants to learn how to drive an airplane. Or what would be even more cool is if Big Jet Airliner by Steve Miller Band was a few weeks ago, or a few days ago, and maybe somebody wants to buy a jet and get a pilot. There's all kinds of things, but I'm seeing a lot of aviation in this success card, and it is full of hot air balloons. Okay, and then the last card out is a new beginning. So we'll go ahead and end it there, but I want you to see that peace, success, and new beginning was the end cards that God wanted you to hear. And I'm drawn to the flowers. Flowers always signify what? Yeah, just happiness, peace, success. It's beautiful. So that's what God is in charge was the very first card, and the last cards are, as I said, success, peace, and new beginning. Okay, so I'm Miss Mystic. I hope you enjoyed this. I really love you all, and thank you for listening.